Yeah, we're heading into the last 16 minutes of the Sportsmax Zone for this Thursday. Let's slip in a discussion on the NBA now. The Detroit Pistons have broken an unwanted record, racking up their 27th consecutive loss Tuesday night, the most in a single NBA season. A defeat tonight against the Boston Celtics will see them tying the NBA's overall losing streak record, which is 28 games lost. The Philadelphia 76ers hold that overall mark over 2 seasons, the end of the 2014-2015 season and the start of 2015-2016 campaign. NBA analyst Alister Albert joins us to discuss the Pistons and their torrid run of form. Albert, we haven't spoken to you in such a long while. Glad to have you back. All the best for the holidays and the coming 2024. Detroit in real strife. I hope you aren't.
No real strife for me. So it's a lot of strife watching these Pistons play or even watching the highlights, because I haven't even taken the time to watch any of their games, to tell you the honest truth. I don't think anyone really wants to watch their games because there's nothing inspiring about what they're doing right now. And yeah, it's a horrid start for them, and it's really a level of infamy that they're actually chasing right now, approaching that 28 losing streak that the Philadelphia Sixers had, which was a team that was actually actively trying to lose.
Yes.
They were trying to gather assets and everything in the whole process stage when Sam Hinkie was the president of basketball operations there, and trying to lose as much games as possible to get as many assets as possible to kind of end up with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons like they did later on. The Pistons right now should be a team that should actually be progressing and kind of doing a lot more positively, and they're not doing that right now. And there's a lot of conversations to be had about what they're doing, the coaching, the players, and what needs to happen moving forward.
Yeah, well, I can't ask you to analyze what's going wrong for them because you haven't been really watching them, but you know their roster. So what is it about their roster that is triggering these bad results?
The thing is, it's a really young roster. The average age on that roster is about 24 to 25 years old, averaging about 5 years experience. Cade Cunningham being the best player on that roster, the rookie of the year last year, averaging 23 points a game, and he's doing his best. He's a player, when you see him play, he looks really poised. He looks like he knows what he's doing on the court. He has very good leadership qualities. And even coming into this season, during the off season, whilst Team USA was kind of gearing up for World Cup competition, he was on the select team that was playing against the team that was chosen to go play those games. And all the coaches were raving about him and were actually thinking that he probably should have been on the main roster himself. So Cade Cunningham, is doing the best that he can. Bojan Bogdanovic, is a veteran in this league, 9 years in the league, and averaging 20 points a game. And he's been like a spot-up shooter in Utah and other places in his career. And you'd think, with these two as maybe the focal offensive points, they'll probably be able to put up enough points, but they're not. They're like basically last in the league or 29th in the league in points per game. And the rest of the roster is not kind of picking up the slack. There's a lot of inconsistency in how they, the rosters are being played, guys who are in and out of the lineup and rotations. And there's just a lot of inexperience and a lot of turnovers and everything going on based on what the statistics say. So there's a lot of fixing to do on a very young, inexperienced roster, trying to find their way.
Yeah, we know there are a lot of highs and lows that teams will experience over time. I guess one of the most glaring examples would have been the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan, and since then they haven't been able to recapture that kind of image. But I see where the Detroit Pistons were very strong in the decades of the 2000s. They were between 2000 and 2007 Eastern Conference champions at least 3 times, and the times during that period that they weren't Eastern Conference champions, they were like second and third in the East. So for their fans, this must be a torrid thing for them to digest. They were NBA champions in 2004, I think.
Definitely, to experience something like that for a franchise that has seen success, not too much in the distant, past. Although I suppose 20 years ago is quite some time. Thinking about it, I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. But yeah, they've had some levels of success that they should be able to try to replicate in terms of roster construction and everything. But of course, the league has moved quite a lot away from what they played back in the day. We're having a team like Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace and Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups running the points. Their heyday within the early 2000s, there was a very deep roster, a lot of interior play, defense and everything. And this team is totally not that. Troy Weaver, who's the general manager right now, has to be looking, all around the league, scouring to try to see what he could probably do. But, is that probably what he's going to do? Maybe he's going to probably allow the team to continue to tank, not really change the roster, get these guys some opportunities to develop and hope for the best next year. I think the team they should really watch really closely is the Orlando Magic, who last year didn't do really well in their standings and really struggled. And this year they've kind of done really well. They had a new coach. They tried to get, the chemistry right with the roster, letting guys play through mistakes, and they're actually doing really well this year. Maybe that's what's on the cards for the Pistons next year. But this year it's just, it's a long season having to try to get past all the losses that they're doing. But, they have hope tonight against the Boston Celtics. Maybe not. Jaylen Brown isn't playing. Maybe that might help. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, in 25 seconds, Alister, usually in any sport, any team who has gone 27 games without a win, you would be hearing shouts from the rooftop for the coach to be fired. Those seem to be quite hushed with Monty Williams at the helm. Why is
Definitely.
that?
The seventh most expensive coach in U.S. sports, the second most expensive coach in NBA. They don't want to get rid of him right now. He just went to the finals about 2 or 3 years ago. They think, he could probably turn this around if given the chance. But, it seems like right now it's just not working. So maybe he just needs to go for the season, use the season as an really extended training camp, get the guys into some levels of flow and chemistry, and hope that, they could kind of recover next year, because this year seems like it's a wash. I don't think they could come back from, how badly they're doing right now.
Yeah, I just can't believe that a team is doing this badly and you're not hearing louder shouts for the coach to go. And in 10 seconds, the question on our lower third, Alister, is this the worst NBA team in history?
Well, right now it looks like it. If they hit that record and they do it, it looks like it. I think they have a lot of good talent on this team, though. In saying that, but I think right now the record says that, and there's nothing that could probably go against that. To be totally honest.
Well, we're out of time, Alister. By the way, are you a betting man? Lance loves to go to Caymanas Park, but I don't think he bets much, if any at all. Are you a betting man, Alister? Because if the Pistons beat the Celtics tonight, you could be in for a great payday.
A big haul, the Celtics are 17-point favorites tonight. So if the Pistons pull this off, it'll be a huge payday. Not really a betting man, but I wish I was.
I'm not giving you or anybody any ideas, but I'm giving you ideas. Shall we go to a break? We'll be back.
You got it.